Surprise! I moved! And I shaved! Still haven't got that haircut though. Maybe next week if I'm lucky. If you're not currently subscribed to my YouTube channel, or you're just watching this video at random sometime in the future, feel free to skip to this point in the video now where I actually, get started on the review. A few weeks ago, someone in the comments section asked me if I could give their boyfriend a shout out, and I had to explain to them that I record most of my Doctor Who reviews well in advance to give myself a break when I need to and avoid getting burnt out. It came in handy as well because I didn't realise it, but the day after I moved was school holidays, so I was working pretty much every day with next to no free time, so I was very pleased to have all of Season 8 already pre-recorded, ready to go. Although, no matter how hard I tried, I could not find that comment. Maybe they deleted it, but I went through the comment section of my last 10 classic Doctor Who reviews. I couldn't find it anywhere. So, hey, if you're still watching this mysterious person, drop by the comment section now and I'll be happy to give you a shout out. Actually, while going through all those comments, it helped me to realise why I keep doing this. My small, regular group of commenters. You guys are what keep me going when I'm struggling through a particularly rough review. So I wanted to show some love and appreciation and balloon this video's runtime, but I don't care, you guys deserve it. LucyLicious864 is a reasonably new viewer, but I love reading their enthusiastic comments and theories. Firewolf, I see you my friend. Nymphadel Sullivan, you are the best and consistently make me chuckle. Dr. Gilliam rarely misses a video, and I can't believe you're watching these along with me. That is awesome. And of course, the two people that jumped on board pretty much right at the beginning and have been commenting on pretty much every video so far. Tedious Milkshake, the young book collector from the UK sharing their thoughts and opinions every week, and Andrew Bowman, the king of trivia, fun facts, and historical information. Every interaction with you, sir, is a privilege. And last but not least, the strange case of one Mr. Matthew Boltho Jones. Every single week, as soon as a video goes live, he's there in the comments with a simple, I like this story. I mean, he's probably there right now, just go have a look. He'll be there with a, I like Day of the Daleks. Well, I like you too. Right, with all that said and done, let's get through this delightful turd, shall we? Righto, kicking off Season 9 with Day of the Daleks, a nice 4-part serial from 1972, where the Daleks aren't really the centre of attention. I mean, they are in it, don't you worry, but they're hardly the focus. Believe me, I am fully aware of this one's reputation. Even before I got through the Troughton era, I already knew of people's general feelings towards this one. A middling plot let down by a lower budget and next to no special effects. Now, while I agree it's a pretty piss-poor reintroduction to the Daleks, on its own, I think it's a perfectly fine, shorter adventure. And hey, there's enough sci-fi vibes to feel more like the Doctor Who we all love despite the third Doc still being stuck exiled on Earth. Also, I know Season 9 was the latest classic collection Blu-ray to be released in the UK last month, however we're having some pretty serious issues down here in New Zealand and Australia, the rumour being that they're going to discontinue production on our region's discs altogether, but I seriously doubt it's going to be that serious. But for the meantime, I'm going to be sticking with the DVDs. I'm going to turn this off, I thought it'd be effective, it's just too distracting. Alright, digging right into this one with the first misstep that I reckon makes it pretty hard to get into. Some serials start off establishing a clear and present threat, some even going so far as to inform the viewer exactly what the villain's motivations are. This one, however, goes for a more indirect approach. You're watching along as things happen and just waiting for the main motivation factor to become clear, and, well, I suppose I could imagine that being quite difficult to keep engaged with. Also, that Dalek reveal is so sudden and unsatisfying, it's literally just a split second with no time to react. You've got to understand and remember that, at the time, it had been almost 5 years since the Daleks had appeared on Doctor Who, and so what do? You get a half-second, one-word introduction. Lame. But if you don't look at it as a big reintroduction, or even a Dalek story, then it becomes much more bearable. So, aside from Daleks, what else is actually going on here? Well, humans from 200 years in the future are being ruled over by the Daleks and are using slaves to do slave things, and a humanoid race known as the Ogrons are helping them do it. I quite like the simple design of the Ogrons. It's pretty basic for sure, but I completely buy these hulking creatures doing the whole one-chop kill more so than a 10th planet Mondasian Cyberman. Also from the future, Rebels are sending agents back in time to terminate they're sending guerrilla fighters back in time to assassinate who they believe is responsible for causing World War III. Oh, also there's another World Peace Conference that needs to be saved, just like the Mind of Evil not too long ago. Man, you'd think that someone in authority would hire better security forces than units to protect World Peace Summits. I mean, these guys are terrible. Unless your name is Lethbridge Stewart, Yates, Benton, or Osgood, you are destined to shoot a couple of bullets and then die in melodramatic fashion. The Third Doctor and Joe do a lot of running, escaping, hopping through time using these little time pad thingies. Maybe that's a predecessor to what River Song uses, or Captain Jack. Their ultimate goal is to figure out what really happened at this peace conference to cause World War III and find a way to stop it. I guess that means that this particular war isn't one of those fixed points in time that cannot be changed or whatever. I actually imagine that it was the Daleks that interfered with human history, meaning that it's okay for the Doctor to assist the gorillas in altering history. Needless to say, it's not an airtight, plot hole-free time travel story, so try not to think about it too much and you'll be fine. And I'm sure some of you are saying, but Dirvinator, a lot of the rules and concepts you're referencing weren't around to the modern series. And yeah, I totally know that, but I think it's quite fun rewatching the classic series with like the information that you have in the future series combined to see how much continuity lines up. And as Andrew told me last year, the whole Doctor not liking guns thing didn't really crop up until the modern series after the Time War. And that's definitely backed up here by the Doctor picking up a disintegrator ray gun and just gunning down Orgons like it's nothing. They really are trying to go for a James Bond-esque Doctor, aren't they? Venusian Karate! Also, this features the most abrupt ending since Season 1's Keys of Marinus. Within a minute of them solving the problem, it's boom, over. Not much left to say about it now. A fairly decent sci-fi story with some cool locations and sets, but just hampered by a lower budget and a severe lack of any special effects. Oh, and it is blatantly clear that they only had 3 Dalek props to use. The only things I have left to note are that the Doctor Who theme keeps partially playing during episode transitions. You know how they replay like a minute of the previous episode at the start of the next one? Well, they would do that, and then it would start to play the Doctor Who theme again for a second before stopping? Maybe it's just a weird DVD thing, but it's something I noticed. On a final note, I only found out after watching it that Disc 2 for the special edition of Day of the Daleks is like an actual special edition, like a re-edited version where they actually added in laser gun effects and they added the modern series voice of the Daleks because people tend to hate the originals. I didn't hate the Day of the Dalek voices, but you know, whatever, more Nicholas Briggs, that's sweet. And they shot 2 extra like quick scenes of a human getting destroyed by an Orgon or exterminated by a Dalek. So a lot of work went into it. I just watched the behind the scenes thing because I couldn't be bothered rewatching this twice in a row. And they did put a fair bit of effort into this, and I have to say, it is the definitive version to watch this. Even if you're curious, first time viewer, rewatching, I don't know, give the original version a watch if you care, but that special edition version looks like, yeah, that's the definitive way to watch it. Like, the other version's just inferior. And the fact that I didn't want to sit down and rewatch it again with the updated effects is probably like the most telling sign of the quality of the story, considering that I happily sat down and watched 2 versions of Power of the Daleks back to back, way back in the Troughton era, so yeah, it's fine. Perhaps one day I'll give it a rewatch with the updated effects, probably when the Blu-ray collection finally makes its way down here to New Zealand. Oh well, a fairly average time that I just so happened to be in a good mood while watching it. Don't go into it with high expectations, and you might even be surprised and find something to enjoy about it. Just don't Google this serial's production code. Thank you so much for watching, I really appreciate it. I had so much to say about this serial that I didn't even get to touch on the whole time ghost moment. As you can tell, I just moved and it's winter here, so there's barely any natural lighting, so it's going to take me a couple of weeks to figure out how I'm going to set all this up and frame with decent lighting and what... You're not Googling, are you? I thought I literally just told you not